Sergeant Maya Chen walked slowly through the ancient stone hallway. Her boots made soft sounds on the smooth floor. Behind her, 3 other human soldiers followed in a straight line. They all wore dark green uniforms and carried energy rifles on their backs. In the middle of their group walked Ambassador Williams. He was an old man with gray hair and kind eyes. He carried a small bag with important papers inside. Today was supposed to be a good day. Today, humans and aliens would sign a peace treaty. Maya looked around carefully as they walked. The temple was very old. Someone had carved it from one giant piece of black rock thousands of years ago. Strange symbols covered the walls. They seemed to glow with soft blue light. Maya had seen many alien buildings before, but this one felt different. It felt alive somehow. "Stay alert," Maya said quietly to her team. She spoke so only they could hear. "Something feels wrong about this place." Private Johnson, the youngest soldier, nodded. He was only 19 years old. This was his first mission to an alien world. His hand shook a little as he held his rifle. "What do you think, Sergeant?" asked Corporal Rodriguez. She was Maya's second in command. Rodriguez had been a soldier for 8 years. She trusted Maya's feelings about danger. "I don't know yet," Maya said. "Just keep your eyes open." The hallway opened into a huge round room. The ceiling was so high that Maya could not see the top. Tall columns held up the ancient roof. In the center of the room stood a large stone table. Around the table waited the aliens. Maya had never seen Zephyrians before. They looked like walking crystals. Their bodies were made of clear blue stone that sparkled in the light. They had no faces like humans. Instead, they had smooth surfaces that changed color when they talked. When they moved, they made soft musical sounds. "Welcome, humans," said the largest Zephyrian. Its voice sounded like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. The crystal on its chest glowed bright blue as it spoke. "I am High Counselor ZFKA. We are happy you came today." Ambassador Williams stepped forward. He smiled and bowed his head a little. "Thank you for meeting with us, High Counselor. I am Ambassador Williams. I speak for all humans today." Maya watched the aliens carefully. She had trained for many years to notice danger. Her teachers had taught her to use all her senses. Right now, something was making her nervous, but she could not say what. The Zephyrians made more musical sounds. Maya realized they were talking to each other in their own language. The sounds were too high for most humans to hear. But Maya was different. The military had given her special treatments to make her hearing better. She could hear the alien voices clearly. "The humans look weak," one alien said to another. "This will be easy." "Remember the plan," said a third alien. "The poison works quickly on their kind." Maya's blood became cold. She wanted to warn the others, but she had to be smart. If the aliens knew she could understand them, they might attack right away. She needed to wait for the right moment. "Please, sit," said High Counselor ZFKA. "We have prepared food and drink to celebrate our new friendship." The stone table was covered with strange foods. Most of it looked like colored crystals, but there were also glasses filled with red liquid. It looked like wine from Earth. Ambassador Williams sat down first. The other humans followed. Maya sat last. She kept her hand close to her weapon. "This drink is special," said the High Counselor. "It is made from plants that grow only on our world. Please, drink with us to show we are friends." The aliens lifted their own glasses. The liquid inside was clear like water. Maya watched as the ambassador picked up his glass. The other soldiers did the same. Maya lifted her glass but did not drink. She pretended to take a sip. The liquid smelled sweet, but underneath the sweet smell was something else. Something that reminded her of the chemicals they used to clean weapons. "To peace between our peoples," said Ambassador Williams. He drank the entire glass. Maya watched in horror as the other humans drank too. She wanted to knock the glasses from their hands, but it was too late. At first, nothing happened. The humans and aliens talked about the peace treaty. They discussed trade and sharing technology. Maya pretended to listen, but she was really watching her team. After 10 minutes, Private Johnson began to look sick. His face became pale and he started to sweat. "I don't feel good," he said quietly. Corporal Rodriguez tried to stand up, but her legs would not work. She fell back into her chair. "Something's wrong," she said. Her words came out slowly and unclear. Ambassador Williams looked confused. He tried to speak, but only made strange sounds. His eyes became unfocused, and he slumped forward onto the table. The aliens began to make different sounds now. Maya could tell they were excited. One of them said, "The poison is working perfectly. Soon they will all be unconscious." Maya felt the drug trying to work on her body too. Her vision became a little blurry, and her head felt heavy. But something inside her was fighting the poison. She had always been different from other humans. Doctors said she had special genes that helped her body fight off bad chemicals. She decided to pretend the poison was working. Maya let her eyes close halfway and made her body go limp. She fell forward a little but caught herself on the table. "Excellent," said High Counselor FKA. "Take them to the research facility. Finally, we will learn what makes humans so difficult to defeat in battle." Maya's heart filled with anger, but she stayed still. Now she understood. This was never about peace. The aliens wanted to capture humans and study them like animals in a laboratory. More aliens came into the room. They were smaller than the counselor and had different colored crystals for bodies. Maya watched through barely open eyes as they began to carry her unconscious teammates away. "This one is still awake," said one of the smaller aliens, pointing at Maya. "Give her more poison," said another. "We cannot let any of them stay conscious during transport." Maya felt a sharp pain in her arm. They had injected her with something. This time the drug was stronger. Even her special body could not fight it completely. Her vision became very dark, and her thought became slow and unclear. But even as the poison pulled her into darkness, Maya made herself a promise. She would find a way to escape. She would save her team, and she would make these aliens pay for what they had done. The last thing Maya saw before losing consciousness was the aliens loading Ambassador Williams onto a floating stretcher. Then everything went black. Maya's eyes opened slowly. Everything was white and bright. Her head hurt and her mouth felt dry. She tried to move, but her arms and legs would not work properly. The poison was still in her body, but she could feel it getting weaker. She was lying on a hard metal table. Above her, strange lights moved in circles. The lights were not like human lights. They made soft humming sounds and changed colors from blue to green to purple. Maya turned her head a little. She could see she was in a large room with white walls. The walls looked like they were made of the same crystal material as the aliens. Everything in the room sparkled and reflected light. Around the room were many glass containers. Inside the containers, Maya could see other humans floating in green liquid. Tubes were connected to their arms and heads. Some of the humans were her teammates. She could see Private Johnson and Corporal Rodriguez. They looked like they were sleeping, but Maya knew it was not natural sleep. "Ah, this one is awake," said a voice. Maya quickly closed her eyes and made her breathing slow and quiet. She did not want the aliens to know she was conscious yet. Two Zephyrians walked closer to her table. Maya could hear their crystal feet clicking on the floor. She could also hear the musical sounds they made when they talked to each other. "The human female seems to be processing the sedative faster than expected," said the first alien. "Her blood tests show unusual genetic markers." "Interesting," said the second alien. "Perhaps this one will provide better research data." The others were too weak. Most of them died during the brain scans. Maya felt sick when she heard this. Some of the humans in the containers were dead. The aliens had killed them while studying their minds. "What about the ambassador?" asked the first alien. "He is in Container 7. We removed part of his brain tissue yesterday. He will not survive much longer, but we learned much about human memory formation." Maya wanted to scream and attack the aliens right now, but she knew she had to be smart. She was alone and weak. If she acted too quickly, she would die and could not help anyone. "This female has military modifications," said the second alien. "Look at her hearing implants and the muscle enhancement scars. She could be very useful for our combat studies." "Yes, I see them. The humans are more advanced than we thought. Their soldiers are not natural anymore. They change their bodies to make them stronger and faster." Maya listened carefully as the aliens talked. She was learning important things about this place and their plans. "How many human subjects do we have now?" asked the first alien. 43 are still alive. We have collected them from 12 different human worlds over the past year. The ones from military backgrounds last the longest during testing." 43 humans. Maya's heart became heavy. The aliens had been kidnapping people from many planets. This was much bigger than just her team. What does the High Council want us to focus on? Asked the second alien. They want to understand human pain tolerance and healing abilities. Humans can survive injuries that would kill most species. They also want to know why humans fight so fiercely when cornered. The psychological studies have been very revealing. Humans have strong emotional connections to each other. They will sacrifice themselves to save their group members. This makes them unpredictable in battle. Maya filed away every piece of information. If she escaped, she would need to tell other humans about this place and what the aliens were doing. The aliens moved away from her table. Maya heard them working with computers and machines across the room. She slowly opened her eyes just a little bit. She could see better now. The room was even bigger than she first thought. There were at least 20 containers with humans inside. Some of the people looked like scientists or engineers based on their clothes. Others wore military uniforms from different human colonies. Maya noticed that the alien technology used a lot of crystal formations. The crystals seemed to store and move energy throughout the facility. She remembered from her military training that crystals could be broken if you hit them at the right frequency. "Schedule this subject for neural mapping tomorrow," said one of the aliens. Maya realized they were talking about her. "We want to understand how military training changes human brain patterns." "What about pain response testing?" asked the other alien. "That comes after the brain scans. We need her conscious for the pain studies. Humans react differently to suffering when they are awake." Maya felt cold fear in her stomach. Tomorrow they would start torturing her. She had to escape tonight. She waited until the aliens left the room. Then she tested her body carefully. The poison was almost gone now. She could move her fingers and toes. Her vision was clear. Her enhanced healing was working faster than the aliens expected. Maya looked at the restraints holding her to the table. They were made of crystal bands that wrapped around her wrists and ankles. The bands glowed with soft energy. She guessed they would give her electric shocks if she tried to break them the wrong way. But Maya remembered something from her Special Forces training. Crystal technology often used harmonic frequencies. If you could make the right sound, you could disrupt the energy flow. Maya started humming very quietly. She changed the pitch of her voice until she found a frequency that made the crystal bands vibrate a little. She hummed louder and adjusted the tone. Suddenly, the band around her left wrist cracked. The energy glow faded and the restraint became loose. Maya smiled. Human vocal cords could break alien technology. She carefully freed her other hand and then her feet. The aliens had not expected humans to understand their technology well enough to escape. Maya sat up slowly on the table. Her body was still weak from the poison, but she could move. She needed to find a way out of this room and figure out how to save the other humans. She looked around for weapons or tools. The aliens had taken her rifle and uniform. She was wearing a simple white medical gown now, but Maya had learned to fight with anything she could find. Near the computers, she saw some crystal tools that the aliens used for their experiments. She picked up one that looked like a shot probe. It was better than nothing. Maya walked quietly to one of the human containers. Inside was a woman in a scientist's coat. The woman's eyes were closed, but she was breathing. Maya looked for controls to open the container, but the alien writing was impossible to read. She heard footsteps in the hallway outside. Someone was coming back. Maya quickly returned to her table and lay down. She placed a broken restraint so they looked like they were still working. The door opened and 2 different aliens entered. These ones had darker crystals and looked more like soldiers and scientists. "Time to move the new subject to the deep labs," said one of them. "The High Counselor wants faster results." "Which ones?" asked the other. "The military female and the ambassador. They go to level 5 tonight." Maya's blood turned cold. Level 5 sounded like a worse place than this room. If they moved her there, escaping would become much harder. She had to act now. As soon as these guards came close enough, Maya would fight. She gripped the crystal probe in her hand and got ready to strike. The fate of 43 humans depended on what happened in the next few minutes. The 2 alien guards walked toward Maya's table. Their crystal bodies made clicking sounds with each step. Maya kept her eyes almost closed and breathed slowly. She held the sharp crystal probe hidden in her right hand. "This human looks unconscious," said the first guard. His crystal body was dark blue like deep ocean water. The scientist said she might resist the sedatives. "All humans are weak," said the second guard. This one had purple crystals that sparkled when he moved. "They cannot fight our technology." Maya waited until the blue guard reached for her arm. Then she moved like lightning. She drove the crystal probe deep into a crack between the guard's chest crystals. The alien made a sound like breaking glass. The purple guard stepped back in surprise. "Alert! The human is awake," he said in their musical language. Maya rolled off a table and grabbed the blue guard's weapon. It looked like a crystal rod that glowed with energy. She pointed it at the purple guard and pressed what looked like a trigger. A beam of bright light shot out and hit the purple guard in the center of his body. His crystals cracked and he fell to the floor. Pieces of purple stone scattered across the white tiles. Maya looked at the weapon in her hands. It was lighter than human energy rifles but seemed very powerful. She needed to learn how to use alien technology quickly if she wanted to survive. She ran to the door and looked into the hallway. It was empty for now, but she could hear alarm sounds starting to echo through the building. The aliens knew she had escaped. Maya went back to the containers holding the other humans. She studied the crystal control panels next to each container. The alien writing meant nothing to her, but she could see patterns of lights and energy flows. She tried humming different tones near the controls. When she hit the right frequency, the crystals began to vibrate and crack. The first container opened with a hiss of escaping gas. Inside was Corporal Rodriguez. She was unconscious but breathing. Maya pulled her out and laid her on the floor. Rodriguez's skin was pale and cold. Tubes had been attached to her head and arms. "Rodriguez, wake up," Maya said quietly. She shook her friend's shoulder. "We need to get out of here." Rodriguez's eyes opened slowly. She looked confused and scared. "Maya, where are we? What happened?" "Aliens captured us. They've been doing experiments. Can you walk?" Rodriguez tried to sit up but fell back down. "I feel sick. My head hurts. What did they do to me?" Maya helped Rodriguez stand. She was weak but could move with support. "We'll figure that out later. Right now we need to save the others." Maya used her voice to open more containers. Private Johnson was in the third one she tried. He was unconscious and had bandages on his head. It looked like the aliens had cut into his skull. "Johnson." Maya called his name, but he did not wake up. She checked his pulse. It was very weak. "Is he alive?" asked Rodriguez. She was getting stronger as the alien drugs left her system. "Barely. Help me carry him." They pulled Johnson out of the container, and Rodriguez held him up. Maya continued opening containers. She found Ambassador Williams in the seventh one, just like the aliens had said. When Maya saw the ambassador, she felt sick. The aliens had removed part of his brain. He was still breathing, but his eyes were empty. He could not speak or move on his own. "Those monsters," Rodriguez said when she saw him. "What kind of creatures do this to thinking beings?" Maya's anger burned like fire in her chest, but she forced herself to stay focused. Anger could make her careless, and careless people died. She opened more containers and found other humans. Some were awake and could walk. Others were too weak or injured to move. Maya counted 23 people total in this room. "We cannot carry everyone," said Rodriguez. "There are too many injured people." Maya looked around the room. There had to be another way. She studied the alien technology more carefully. The floating stretchers the aliens used to move unconscious humans were still in the room. Maya found the control for the stretchers. They used the same crystal technology as everything else. She hummed the right frequency, and the stretchers began to float and follow her voice commands. "Put the wounded on these," Maya told the humans who could walk. "We'll use the alien machines to carry them." As they loaded people onto the stretchers, Maya heard footsteps in the hallway. More guards were coming. She grabbed 2 more crystal weapons from the fallen guards. "Can you shoot?" Maya asked a man in a scientist's coat. "I've never used alien weapons," he said. His name tag said Dr. Chen. He was not related to Maya, but they shared the same last name. "Point and press the crystal button. The beam will cut through anything." Maya handed him one of the weapons. They moved into the hallway. Maya went first, checking for enemies. The others followed with the floating stretchers carrying the wounded. The hallway was long and white like the room they had left. Crystal lights in the ceiling gave off soft blue light. Maya could hear more alarm sounds coming from deeper in the building. "Which way?" asked Rodriguez. Maya closed her eyes and listened carefully. Her enhanced hearing could pick up sounds that others missed. She heard them moving through vents above them. That meant there was a way to the surface. "Follow me," Maya said, "and stay quiet." They walked through several hallways. Maya used her weapon to break crystal locks on doors. Behind one door, they found more human prisoners. Maya's heart sank when she saw how many people the aliens had captured. "We cannot save them all in one trip," Rodriguez said quietly. Maya knew she was right, but leaving people behind felt wrong. Every human life was precious. "We'll come back," Maya promised. "First, we get these people to safety. Then we return for the others." They found a stairway that led upward. Maya could smell fresh air coming from above. They were getting close to the surface. As they climbed the stairs, carrying and pushing the wounded, Maya heard heavy footsteps behind them. A group of alien guards was following them up. "They are coming," Dr. Chen said. Fear made his voice shake. Maya stopped at a landing and turned around. She could see crystal lights reflecting off the guards' bodies as they climbed toward them. "Keep going," Maya told the others. "Get everyone to the surface. I'll hold them off." Maya, "No," Rodriguez said. "We're not leaving you." "That's an order, Corporal. These people need medical help. Get them out of here." Maya watched as Rodriguez led the group up the remaining stairs. She could hear them reaching the surface level above. Now she was alone with the approaching guards. Maya counted at least 6 aliens climbing toward her. They had heavy weapons and energy shields. She had one crystal rifle in her training. The odds were bad, but Maya had faced worse. She thought about all the humans the aliens had tortured and killed. She thought about Private Johnson's empty eyes and Ambassador Williams' broken mind. Maya aimed her weapon down the stairway and waited for the guards to come into range. She would make them pay for every human life they had taken. Maya crouched behind a broken piece of crystal wall on the stairway landing. 6 alien guards were climbing toward her. Their weapons glowed with deadly energy. She could hear their crystal feet clicking on each step. The first guard appeared around the corner below her. Maya aimed carefully and fired. Her energy beam hit the alien in the center of his chest. His crystal body exploded into 1,000 pieces that scattered down the stairs. The other guards began shooting back. Bright beams of light flew past Maya's head. The energy blast made the air smell like burning metal. One beam hit the wall next to her and melted a hole through the crystal. Maya rolled to a new position and fired again. Her second shot hit another guard in the head. The alien fell backward and knocked down the guard behind him. They both tumbled down the stairs in a shower of broken crystal. But more guards were coming. Maya could hear dozens of crystal feet in the hallways below. The aliens were sending everyone they had to stop her. Maya looked up the stairway. She could no longer hear the other humans. That was good. It meant Rodriguez had gotten them safely to the surface. Now Maya just had to survive long enough to follow them. She heard a new sound. It was like a deep humming that made the walls vibrate. Maya realized the aliens were using some kind of sonic weapon. The sound got louder and made her ears hurt. Maya covered her ears and tried to block out the noise. But the sound was too strong. It made her head feel like it was splitting apart. She fell to her knees and dropped her weapon. 3 guards rushed up the stairs toward her. Maya could barely see them through the pain in her head. The sonic weapon was designed to disable humans without killing them. The aliens wanted her alive for more experiments. Maya forced herself to think through the pain. She remembered something from her military training. Sound waves could be disrupted by other sound waves. If she could make the right frequency, she might be able to cancel out the alien weapon. Maya opened her mouth and screamed as loud as she could. She made her voice as high and sharp as possible. The sound echoed off the crystal walls and mixed with the alien sonic weapon. Suddenly, the humming stopped. Maya had found the right frequency to break their sound weapon. The guards looked surprised. They had never seen a human do that before. Maya grabbed her weapon and shot the closest guard. Then she rolled down the stairs toward the others. If she was going to die here, she would take as many aliens with her as possible. The remaining guards scattered as Maya charged toward them. She was moving faster than they expected. Her enhanced muscles and reflexes made her quicker than a normal human. Maya reached the main hallway where more guards were waiting. There were at least 20 aliens spread out between her and the exit. They all had weapons pointed at her. "Surrender, human," said their leader. His crystal body was larger than the others and colored bright red. "You cannot fight us all." Maya looked around the hallway. The walls were covered with crystal technology. Power conduits ran along the ceiling. Computer terminals lined the walls. Everything was connected to the alien crystal network. Maya smiled. She had an idea. "You're right," Maya said to the red leader. "I can't fight you all." She raised her weapon and pointed it at the ceiling. "But I don't have to." Maya fired her energy beam at the main power conduit above her head. The crystal cable exploded and sent electricity flowing through all the connected systems. Sparks flew from every computer terminal and wall panel. The lights went out. Emergency power came on a few seconds later, but it was much dimmer. Half of the alien technology had stopped working. In the confusion, Maya ran toward the nearest group of guards. She tackled the first one and used his body as a shield while she shot at the others. Crystal pieces flew everywhere as energy beams lit up the dark hallway. Maya fought like a wild animal. She used everything she had learned in years of military training. She kicked, punched, shot, and threw anything she could find. The aliens had never faced a human soldier in close combat before. One guard tried to grab her with his crystal hands. Maya bit his arm and tore off several pieces of crystal. The alien screamed in pain and let her go. Another guard shot at her with an energy weapon. Maya rolled under the beam and came up behind him. She drove her fist into a crack in his crystal back and shattered his spine. More guards kept coming. Maya was getting tired and her body hurt from all the fighting. She had cuts and burns from the alien weapons, but she kept moving and fighting. Maya reached another stairway that led up toward the surface. She could see starlight through a window far above. Freedom was close, but she still had to get past the remaining guards. The red leader appeared at the bottom of the stairs with 5 more guards. "You have caused enough damage, human. This ends now." The leader raised a weapon that was much larger than the others. It looked like it could destroy half the building with one shot. Maya looked around for something to use as cover. There was nothing. She was trapped in the open stairway with nowhere to hide. Then Maya heard a familiar sound from above. It was a noise of human spacecraft engines. Rodriguez had made it to the surface and called for help. The building shook as something heavy landed outside. Maya heard human voices shouting commands and the sound of military boots running across the ground. "This is the Earth Colonial Marines," a voice said over a loudspeaker. "Surrender now or we will destroy this facility." The red alien leader looked confused. He had not expected human reinforcements to arrive so quickly. Maya used his moment of confusion to act. She ran up the stairs as fast as she could. The guards shot at her, but their aim was bad in the emergency lighting. Energy beams hit the walls around Maya as she climbed. She could feel the heat from the weapons as they barely missed her, but she kept running toward the light above. Maya reached the door that led outside. She could hear human voices on the other side. Safety was just a few feet away, but the red leader was right behind her. He raised his big weapon and aimed it at Maya's back. "You will not escape," he said in his musical voice. "You will pay for the damage you have caused." Maya turned around to face him. She was not afraid anymore. She had saved the other humans. Her mission was complete. "Go ahead and shoot," Maya said. "But remember this moment. Remember that one human soldier destroyed your entire operation. Remember that humans never give up." The alien leader hesitated. Something in Maya's voice made him pause. That hesitation was all Maya needed. She dove through the door and rolled outside into the cool night air. Human soldiers immediately surrounded her and pulled her to safety. Behind her, the alien facility began to explode as human bombs destroyed it piece by piece. Maya had won. Maya sat in the medical bay of the human warship Thunderbolt. A doctor was treating the cuts and burns on her arms. Through the window, she could see the remains of the alien research facility burning on the planet below. "You're lucky to be alive, Sergeant," said Dr. Martinez. She was a small woman with gentle hands and tired eyes. "The alien toxins in your blood should have killed you hours ago." Maya nodded but did not speak. She was thinking about all the humans who had not been lucky. Private Johnson was in the ship's intensive care unit. The doctors were not sure if he would ever wake up. Ambassador Williams was in a medical pod, but his brain damage was too severe to fix. How are the others? Maya asked. 23 survivors total, Dr. Martinez said. Some will recover completely. Others will need months of treatment. But they are all alive because of what you did. Corporal Rodriguez walked into the medical bay. She looked much better after getting proper treatment. Her uniform was clean, and she carried a datapad in her hands. Maya, the captain wants to see you, Rodriguez said. They've been analyzing the information we brought back from that place. Maya stood up and followed Rodriguez through the ship's corridors. The Thunderbolt was a military vessel designed for long-range missions. It carried 300 soldiers and enough firepower to destroy a small moon. They reached the bridge where Captain Harrison was studying multiple computer screens. He was a tall man with gray hair and scars on his face from old battles. He had been fighting aliens for 20 years. Sergeant Chen, Captain Harrison said when he saw Maya. Outstanding work down there. Your actions saved not just those prisoners, but potentially millions of human lives. Maya looked confused. I don't understand. So, Captain Harrison pointed to one of the screens. It showed a map of human space with dozens of red dots scattered across it. Each red dot is a Zephyrian research facility like the one you escaped from, the captain explained. Our intelligence teams have been analyzing the alien computers you helped us capture. The Zephyrians have been studying humans for over 2 years. Maya felt sick as she looked at the map. There were so many facilities, so many places where humans were being tortured and killed. How many people? Maya asked quietly. We estimate over 1,500 humans have been taken, Captain Harrison said. Scientists, engineers, soldiers, civilians. The aliens were trying to understand everything about us. Rodriguez handed Maya a datapad. On the screen was a document written in human language. It was a translation of alien research notes. Maya read the first few lines and felt anger burning in her chest. The aliens had written about humans like they were laboratory animals. They described human emotions and intelligence as interesting biological phenomena worth studying. They wanted to know why humans are so hard to defeat in war. Captain Harrison continued. They couldn't understand how a species they considered primitive could resist their technology so effectively. Maya kept reading. The alien scientists had tested human pain tolerance, healing rates, and psychological responses to stress. They had cut into people's brains to study memory and emotion. They had tortured humans just to see how much they could endure. What's our response going to be? Maya asked. Captain Harrison smiled, but it was not a happy smile. It was the smile of a predator who had found prey. The Earth Colonial Council met in emergency session 6 hours ago, he said. They've authorized Operation Retribution. We're going to hit every Zephyrian facility simultaneously. Another officer approached them. He was young and wore the uniform of Fleet Intelligence. Sir, we're receiving reports from other sectors, the intelligence officer said. Human fleets are already moving towards Zephyrian space. The 3rd Fleet launched 2 hours ago. The 7th Fleet is mobilizing at Mars. Maya looked at the map again. Now there were blue dots moving toward each red dot. The blue dots represented human warships. There were hundreds of them. The aliens made a mistake, Captain Harrison said. They thought they could study us in secret. They thought we wouldn't find out what they were doing. But they underestimated human intelligence networks. The bridge communications officer spoke up. Captain, we're receiving a transmission from Earth Command. It's marked Priority 1. Put it on the main screen, Captain Harrison ordered. The screen changed to show Admiral Chen, the head of Earth's military forces. She was an older woman with steel-gray hair and hard eyes. Maya realized she might be related to Dr. Chen from the research facility. All unit commanders, Admiral Chen said from the screen. Operation Retribution is now active. You have authorization to use any force necessary to rescue human prisoners and destroy Zephyrian research capabilities. The Admiral paused and looked directly at the camera. The Zephyrian government has been contacted. They claim the research facilities were operated by rogue scientists without official approval. They say they want to negotiate. Maya made a sound of disgust. The aliens were trying to lie their way out of consequences. Our response is simple, Admiral Chen continued. We don't negotiate with species that experiment on sentient beings. Destroy the facilities. Rescue our people. Send a message that humanity will not tolerate this kind of treatment. The transmission ended. Captain Harrison turned to Maya. Sergeant, I'm promoting you to lieutenant and giving you command of the special rescue teams, he said. You know more about Zephyrian facilities than anyone else. You'll lead the assault on their main research complex. Maya stood straighter. Yes, sir. When do we leave? Immediately. The transport ships are already loaded with Marines. You will have 2,000 soldiers under your command. Maya looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, hundreds of humans were still trapped in alien laboratories. They were probably scared and hopeless, thinking no one was coming to save them. They were wrong. 3 days later, Maya stood on the bridge of the assault ship Vengeance as it approached the Zephyrian homeworld. Around them flew 50 other human warships. Each ship carried soldiers, Marines, and rescue teams. Lieutenant, we're detecting the main research complex, reported the ship scanner officer. It's massive, built into the side of a mountain. Looks like it can hold thousands of prisoners. Maya put on her combat armor and checked her weapons. She was carrying human energy rifles now, not stolen alien weapons. The weapons felt familiar and reliable in her hands. All teams, prepare for assault, Maya said over the communication system. Remember, our mission is to rescue human prisoners and destroy alien research capabilities. Show no mercy to anyone who has participated in torturing our people. Maya thought about Private Johnson, still unconscious in the medical bay. She thought about Ambassador Williams and his empty eyes. She thought about all the humans who had died in alien laboratories. Let's go get our people back, Maya said. The human fleet descended toward the planet like avenging angels. The Zephyrians were about to learn that humans had long memories and that some actions could never be forgiven. Maya closed her eyes for a moment, not in defeat this time, but in preparation for the justice she was about to deliver.